So I'd consider myself a frugal multi-millionaire, but there are definitely some things that I like to splurge my money on. And in this video, we'll be going over 14 of those things. Now, I grew up super frugal. I never liked spending money at all. Like 90% of my brain power was spent on figuring out how to not spend money. But I've come to realize that there are definitely some things that are worth spending money on, especially if you have some disposable income. And so I'll share those 14 things with you guys in today's video. Now, I know I might get some heat for this, but the first thing I like to splurge my money on is a super luxurious car. I'm not talking about a supercar that's fun and fast. I'm talking about a car that makes you feel luxurious. And that for me was my 2019 Range Rover SV Autobiography. I did not get this car because it was fast or fun. Rather, I got it because it's super comfortable. I think as you make more and more money, you start to really prioritize your comfort. And I don't mean staying in your comfort zone. That's a completely different thing. But I mean, if you're traveling or if you're doing anything, do it with comfort so that you can be well rested to actually work harder. And so yeah, I bought this car for about $135,000 after taxes. Yes, I know that is a lot, but the feeling you get when you drive a car like this, it's just absolutely crazy. I can't really describe it. This is by far the most luxurious car I've really ever sat in. And so by buying this, I really told myself that I deserve nice things. And while this isn't a splurge that I recommend most of you guys getting, I wanted to talk about it first because it definitely is the most controversial. From now on, as long as I can afford it, I will have a super luxurious, comfortable car like this because it just makes the whole driving experience so much better for me. All right, so the second splurge we're talking about today is buying a water cooler slash heater. So just a few months ago, I started getting water delivered to my place. And I know this sounds kind of dumb, but I really like the fact that I can get hot water first thing in the morning. All I have to do is go to the Brio water device that I bought, hit the button, and out comes boiling water. It's the same thing with cold, refreshing water. And so yeah, having water at different temperatures, I really enjoy. But the biggest thing for me, you guys, was before I bought this, my girlfriend and I would sometimes get into arguments over filling the Brita. Yes, I know it sounds comical, but it actually did affect our relationship a little bit. And so when I bought this, one big reason was because I wanted to never fight about stuff like that ever again. And yeah, it's worked really well. We have yet to fight over the water. And that to me, you guys, is a great use of money. So the next thing that I splurge my money on is nice sunscreen. I'm willing to bet that 90% of you guys watching this video don't even use sunscreen on a day-to-day basis, especially dudes. For some reason, we just hate having sunscreen on our face. I get that the texture does not feel that good, but if you get some of the nicer sunscreens out there, it's actually not too bad. And so yeah, I splurge my money on nice sunscreen because it doesn't feel bad on my face and because it protects my skin and keeps me looking young. I'm 31, I'm starting to get a little bit older, but one reason why I look relatively younger is because my skin is pretty good. Sun damage is extremely bad for skin aging. And so if there's one takeaway you guys can leave with this video, it's to start using sunscreen every single day. Okay, next is house cleaning. And I think a lot of people, they have this preconceived notion that house cleaning is super expensive, that only the super rich can afford it. Well, luckily that is not the case. So for us, we pay about $125 every 2 weeks for a whole house cleaning. They basically clean the house, they do the dishes, they fold all our laundry, they make the bed, they clean the floors and all that stuff. So that's $250 per month or about $3,000 a year. And guys, I cannot emphasize just how amazing this has been. $3,000 to never really have to worry that much about cleaning the house. Yes, it does get a little bit messy since it's every 2 weeks, but if you were to come to our house right now, it would look sparkling clean. And that's because we get this full cleaning service once every 2 weeks. If you guys have a little bit of extra money, I highly recommend doing this. Being stressed out about clutter and having to clean the house, it does take a lot of mental energy, and that takes away from you being able to build your business or do whatever to increase your income. And so yeah, now doing the math, you guys, $3,000 a year, this is probably the best money I spent. Okay, the next thing we're talking about is a little funny, but it's going to be 3-ply toilet paper. Unfortunately, our apartment does not allow us to install bidets, so we do have to use toilet paper, but you know, if I could, I probably would get a bidet. But having 3-ply toilet paper, guys, it's just so much better than having 1-ply or even 2-ply. For me, the cost difference between really good toilet paper versus really bad toilet paper is not that significant if you think about it. And so I'm super happy to splurge a little bit and get the nicer toilet paper, which by the way, I just recommend getting the nice one from Costco. It's super consistent, it's good. And yeah, sometimes when you buy from sites like Amazon, you don't really know what you're getting. So yeah, I just like my consistent Costco toilet paper. This might cost you an extra $10 per month, but for me, I think it's super worth it. Before we talk about the next thing, let's talk about a specific subscription purchase I have. EpidemicSound. This is where I get all of my sound effects and music from. For example, the songs in all my interviews and viral videos are from EpidemicSound. And sound design plays a big part in why these videos do so well. If you've ever wanted to make content like me, then I really recommend getting on their platform. They have a huge library of over 35,000 tracks and 90,000 sound effects to choose from, and they have the highest quality songs in my opinion, which is why I recommend them to everyone I talk to. You can also customize your search filters in order to find music and sound effects based on categories like the mood or genre that you're looking for. And you can even download isolated instruments if you want the drums, bass, or melody of a song. So out of all the platforms I splurge on when it comes to my YouTube channel, I would say EpidemicSound is one of the best investments I've made so far. Also, right now they're offering a 30-day free trial only to my viewers through my link in the description. And even if you cancel, everything you post during your trial will stay copyright free. So if you're interested in using EpidemicSound, be sure to check out the link in the description to sign up for the 30-day free trial. Okay, the next thing I splurge my money on is musical instruments. So I've been playing piano and guitar for most of my life. And so yeah, I've built up a decent collection of guitars and I also have a keyboard that I play every once in a while. I think it's so important to spend money on things that help bring out your creativity, especially for hobbies that are not only fun, but help stimulate the brain. I think music is a skill that everyone should try learning at some point in their life, because when you think about it, music is beautiful. Expressing yourself creatively is so important. And that's why for me, I like to buy musical instruments. I have no problem spending money on nice guitars or nice pianos, nice microphones and stuff like that. I'm also starting to get into music production. I think that's going to be one of my future career paths. And so yeah, I'm going to be spending money on studio monitors, audio interfaces, software, stuff like that. Whenever I spend money on things that I consider active rest, meaning yes, you're sort of resting, but you're also sort of bettering yourself at the same time, I think that is so worth it. So if you have a hobby like this, it doesn't need to be music. I'd say don't feel too guilty spending the money on it. So the next thing we're talking about is therapy. And yes, I do therapy once a week. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they are pretty against therapy since, emotions and communication, it's not that important for them. But for me, I want to be really well-rounded. I want to be able to get better at expressing my emotions, communicating properly with my partner. And yeah, I think all that is going to help translate into becoming a better business person and just being a better overall person in general. I grew up in an Asian household that didn't really prioritize communication and emotions. So I'd say I'm not good at that stuff at all. I am working on it with my therapist. And yeah, you could just focus on business and taking your emotions, stuffing it in a jar and not really, thinking about it. But I think if you want a really well-rounded life and especially good communication with your partner, then it's really going to be helpful to go to therapy. It is extremely expensive, but a lot of you guys might have health insurance that could cover it. So yeah, I would just consider it if it is a possibility. All my sessions are done on Zoom. It's $175 per hour, but I view it as an investment into my self-improvement. Okay, so the next thing I like to splurge my money on is music festivals. Again, music is a big part of my life. I actually started YouTube doing solely music covers. I'd play instruments and produce songs, and then my sister would sing. So yeah, that really ties together with this whole music thing that I am a big fan of. And so yeah, when I get to go to music festivals, I get to experience both new people, new music, but it's also sort of like a way to relax, right? I work pretty hard normally, and getting to go out to these festivals, it's a great place to get inspired again. Plus, sometimes I'll even make content at these festivals. For example, at Coachella, that became one of my most viral videos I've ever made, and I got to meet a lot of cool people that I've learned a lot from. Music festivals are also a good way for me and my girlfriend to bond. We view them as vacations, and every time we go to a music festival together, it feels like we get a little bit closer. Music festivals are usually a few $100s to thousands of dollars. It really depends on how you do them, but even if you go general admission, which can be pretty affordable, I think it's super worth it. So next up is software and tools. Whenever I find a piece of software or a tool that can make my life easier, especially when it comes to business, I buy it. The price doesn't matter that much because all I look at is the reward. And if a software or tool can increase my productivity by, let's say, 20%, then I just look at the ROI and I think, yes, if I buy this tool for, let's say, $50 a month, but it makes me an extra $1,000 a month, then it literally doesn't make any sense not to get it. For example, Taplio is a software I use to help run my LinkedIn page. Hypefury is a platform I use to help run my Twitter. I splurge on platforms like Frame.io, ClickUp, Slack, Loom. Really, the list goes on. All these tools and softwares, they help me build my business and they just help me make my life a lot better. So yeah, if you find software or tools that creates a net benefit in your life, I say get it. It literally doesn't make sense not to. All right, next up is going to be vacations. Now, I don't like taking really expensive vacations. I don't see the point in it. I prefer doing activities that really make it feel like I am immersed in the culture or in the landscape. Or I'll just spend my money on food at that location because for me, food is a huge part of travel. The reason why I spend spend money on vacations is because travel and vacations, they make the world a better place. I truly believe that if everyone had the opportunity to travel to different countries, there would be far less racism in this world. And I'd say that I am pretty open-minded, and one reason for that is because I do a good amount of traveling. Without travel, you're literally just stuck in one geographical location. And if you think about it, the world is just so massive. There are so many different cultures, types of people, foods, landscapes, and without all that stuff, life can be pretty boring in my opinion. That's why as I started to make more money, I realized, hey, I need to spend this money on travel because not only is it fun, but it helps give me more empathy, more open-mindedness, and a greater appreciation of different cultures and the world. The next thing I splurge my money on is anything related to my health. So this includes products as well as memberships. I splurge on my gym membership at Equinox, which is $360 now per month, because I look at the time I spend every single month on fitness, and it's a lot of time. So when I'm spending that much time on something, then yes, that $360 a month definitely makes sense. Plus, I've made content at Equinox. I've met people that have, made me way more money than what I spend there. But yeah, overall, I think health is your best and greatest asset. And so whatever money you can spend that encourages you to go to the gym or go out and do exercise, I think that is an amazing use of your money. I'll continue with my Equinox membership. I'll continue buying things that add to my health because yeah, without health, we don't have anything. Okay, so next up is a consumer product, and I was a little bit hesitant to talk about this, but yeah, I wanted to bring up my Airpods Maxes. I wouldn't say Airpods Maxes are the best purchase ever, but I will say headphones in general are a great purchase. Now, what these do for me is they allow me to be more productive. So whenever I put them on, I turn on the noise isolation, and then I'm sort of stuck in my own world. So it's just me and my laptop. Again, this is sort of like a tool that I spent my money on, but not only can I listen to podcasts and music with it, it also helps me become a better entrepreneur. So whenever I need to really focus and do deep work, I'll put these on and it helps me stay locked in. And if you're wondering, I bought these used. I don't like to buy things new sometimes. And some of my friends were making fun of me for it, but I saved $200 buying it used. And yeah, at $350, these are a pretty good deal. But would I pay $550 for them? Probably not. Okay, next up is gonna be grocery delivery. And this has been an absolute game changer for me. And I hardly ever step into grocery stores anymore. If you think about it, going to the grocery store takes an hour or more. It's stressful. You're using your brain, figuring out what things to buy. And yeah, that takes away from your mental energy to do other more important things. And so now I just use apps like We or Instacart to get my groceries delivered to my house. We is a really cool Asian grocery app. You can basically shop for a bunch of different, ethnic foods. I really love buying vegetables on there, and they basically ship it over in a box. And for Instacart, that's great for buying more traditional things. For example, I use Instacart at Costco. And so instead of having to go all the way to Costco, spending like 1 or 2 hours there, fighting with all the traffic and stuff like that, it gets delivered straight to my door. It costs maybe $20, $30 extra per order, but that for me is extremely worth it. So yeah, as you make more money, you need to think about the things that you want to eliminate doing, the things that you don't particularly enjoy. And yeah, for me, one of those things was grocery shopping. And then lastly, you guys, is gonna be my laptop. Okay, this was a splurge because MacBooks, they're really expensive. And yes, there are different alternatives out there that are a lot cheaper. But in my opinion, getting a MacBook, it's just a computer that lasts forever. I really enjoy the way it looks, so that encourages me to work more. And the UI, the operating system, is just so much better in my opinion than Windows. And for me, the work environment is very important. And that's why I always splurge on my computers. Again, this is like a tool. It sort of blends with what we talked about earlier, the software and tools. But I think a lot of people, they don't realize just how important their laptop is, especially if you make money online or you work remotely. Then the literal tool you use to make your entire living, that should be something that you splurge your money on. So yeah, $3,000 for a laptop, totally worth it in my opinion. So yeah, those are 14 different things that I splurge my money on as a semi-frugal multimillionaire. I've made other videos about things that I don't buy anymore, but I wanted to make this video and talk about some things that, have really added to my life that I've been fortunate enough to add to my spending. Not everything on this list will make sense for you guys, even if you have more money than me. And overall, I just encourage you guys, find items and things that you can spend your money on that actually add happiness to your life. Buying a Rolex did not add that much happiness to my life. I don't think it was one of my best purchases. Expensive restaurants is also another thing I don't think adds that much happiness to my life. But yeah, everyone's gonna be a little bit different. And so I just encourage you guys, identify what those things are in your life and tell yourself that it's okay to splurge your money sometimes. You are definitely worthy and you are deserving of it. And yeah, hopefully you guys got some value from this video. If you guys did, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this. I make a ton of videos about personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. All right, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.